Hey guys, welcome back to my old tractor shed. I don't feel I have enough parts taken apart off this tractor yet, so I'm going to take a bit more off. I'm waiting for a couple of parts, making a special tool actually to do some work on that transmission. So we're just waiting here. Yeah, got to do something. The throttle linkage, there's a lever up here on the dash, that sets your throttle. And then when the running boards and everything are on here, there's a little accelerator paddle I guess just for temporarily just to boost the RPM. And that goes onto this little shaft right here. And I've had this bracket off. There's a spring that goes here and whatnot. Obviously, that's all taken apart right now. I had this apart before, last winter I think, and I had the lever that's up on the dash, and it has a long shaft that goes down into the bottom of this housing down here. I had that off last year, but the shaft that goes across I never had out, and there's two roll pins down in there. I'll bring this camera around in a second and show you, and there is quite a bit of wear on it, but I never had good access to it. Now that the transmission's off, I have very good access to it. Let me bring this camera around the other side. On the opposite end of this shaft is this little bracket here. This is the shaft, of course, that goes through the other side. And this linkage here, this goes up to the injection pump. In behind here, pretty hard to get at, there's, it looks like a roll pin of some sort, goes through the shaft, comes up into the top of this little bracket, but it looks like it's welded there. I could certainly grind that off and get this off, but it wouldn't be an easy thing, so I didn't really want to do that. If I have to, I probably will, but at the moment I don't want to. If I bring this camera around, we look on the inside of this housing. This is the shaft that goes across. On that end over there is where the accelerator pedal would be, and on that end over there is where the linkage is that goes to the injection pump. This vertical shaft with this roll pin here, that's the one that goes up to the lever on the top of the dash. So now if I move that, you can see how those roll pins work back and forth. Now there's no spring on that bottom shaft, so it doesn't want to come back. But that would, let me do it over here. You can see that goes forward and then of course comes back. And the way they're set up is if you stepped on the accelerator pedal, that can move forward without interfering at all with the lever up on the top. But I know on the back side of this, I was looking at it before, right where my finger is, fair amount of wear, so I would really like to change that, and possibly that one. Actually, maybe I won't even need to now that I'm looking at it. Most of the wear is there. But anyway, I had this vertical one out before, but I couldn't access that. With the transmission off, I can certainly access that quite easy. Let's take that one back out, and then I'm going to have a closer look at that vertical one, the one that's on the horizontal shaft. Give me a second. So, just a couple of screws up here. Going to have to take all this apart shortly. I'm going to start to sort out the electrical on this, figure out what I need. I had this whole upper housing and dash and everything off, and it was just a huge rat nest in there. I actually just cut everything, did away with it. My intention is just to simply wire it fresh. Okay, let's see if this should just lift, and it does. There is actually two little notches. There's a round hole for this piece. There's two little notches to allow that to come out. That's pretty sweet. You can see there's an excessive amount of wear on the back of that. So I'm going to see if I can't get that pin out and change that. Let's have a closer look. Let's have a closer look at the other one. I had thought I wanted to change that, and I thought with this transmission off, that's going to be a perfect opportunity. But you know what? I don't think I'm going to worry about that one. It really doesn't look bad at all. I'm wondering, because it's not stuck through, I don't know. I think I've already kind of figured out somebody's had this transmission off before. Maybe they've already changed that one. But anyway, let's take that other arm over to the table and have a look at it and see what we can do with it. All right, guys, I got this throttle linkage over here to the table and having a closer look at it. This rod that they put in here, it's not a roll pin. The other one is a roll pin. This one here, with all the wear on the back side of it, that's just a solid rod, and I can see they've actually welded it. So I may end up grinding this off and then re-drilling that perhaps. I got a roll pin that I think will work. As I was looking at it, I noticed on this back side here, there's a fair bit of wear right there, and I was trying to figure out why that was. So I took this back over and put it in the tractor, and I'll bring the camera over and show you. This isn't right. Let me show you what's going on. All right, so I put the shaft back in, I moved this camera back over. That's the little rod that's welded that I'm talking about changing. This, of course, is the long end, and the short end, the end that's sticking out, that I don't think should be sticking out, is rubbing against that housing. Let me move the arm up above. You see? See how it's rubbing? It actually pushes it over. So I need to fix that. The roll pin that's in this shaft doesn't stick out at all and sticks up, and I think that's probably how that one was supposed to be as well. So let's take this back over to the table, and we'll try and see what we can do to fix that. So like I say, looking at this, I think they've welded that. I'm going to just, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do here. I think I'm going to go and put this in the vise maybe. I think I will put this in the vise instead of trying to work here. And I'm going to grind this short end off and try and smooth that up. Actually, I'll probably grind both sides off. I don't know, depends how good a welder they were, eh? See if I can tap that piece out. If not, I'm going to have to drill it out to fit this other roll pin. I need to go and take a couple pictures of this though, so once I get rid of all that, I know which way that I want to put this roll pin. So let me make some room over there, and then we'll rearrange these cameras, and I'll bring you guys back. All right, I'm just going to take the cordless grinder and see if I can nip these off, and then I'll get a punch and see if I can get them out of there, or if I'm going to have to drill them. A little wee bit of weld on this side too, so I'm going to get rid of that, and then I'm going to go get a punch. Switch my glasses here. That is coming out pretty easy. And there we have it. Now, get that roll pin. Let's try that. A little bit more. It's just, oops, where's my camera? It's just poking there, but I'm going to give it just a little wee bit more. You can hear it now. I think that camera sees it. I think that's where I'm going to leave it. Let's go and put it back in the tractor and see what she looks like. All right, so there it is back in the tractor, and it's not rubbing back there anymore. I guess I don't have a spring on there, but I can hold up with my hand. So now when I move the lever up above, It pushes it forward, and the spring, of course, would pull this one back. Should stay about there, I think. Anyway, I think that's good. Well, I think that's it for this one, guys. 10-minute job turns into an hour when you're moving cameras and playing around, but that's okay. I'm just going to leave it sitting in there for now, but I am going to take that back off. I need to take the dash off and this off. I got to redo the electrical. I got a broken spot here I need to fix, but that takes care of that. Looking at the clock on the wall, it's time for coffee, so appreciate your time, guys. I appreciate your time, guys. You take care, and we'll see you next time in my old tractor shed. Ciao! So this shaft here is the one that has on that end is the accelerator pedal, and on the opposite end, that's where that little bracket is that I think's welded. And you can see these two roll pins here. Oh bother. Take two, guys. Forgot to turn the fucking camera on.